Hello and welcome to one of my many stress-free art sessions. I'm your host BaTo and I will be teaching you how to create art. For this session you can use a tablet to draw or a pencil and paper. I'm using an iPad and a free app called SketchBook to draw and paint in this and future sessions. For this session we are going to draw a T-Rex. The T-Rex reference I have on the screen is captured from the Jurassic World Evolution game, and we will use it as a guide. We are trying to draw our T-Rex in a cartoony style, and in this case, it's okay to exaggerate proportions. The first thing I would want to do is block out the shapes of the whole body by using geometric shapes like rectangles, squares, spheres, and cylinders. So here I want to show you how I approach this, how I block out the body. And again, for the torso, I'm using a rectangular shape, a bit curved on the top and bottom. For the neck, again, I'm using a cylinder. And for the head, I'm using a rectangle as well. The tail is really simple, and for the legs I'm using this awkward shape, and again I'm just trying to block out the parts of the body, not adding any detail yet, just enough to kind of recognize the shape of the dinosaur. The arms are really small, and we can make them smaller to add the comedy to it, so to say. And this is how it looks like once it's blocked out. Okay, so I'm gonna do it again, without tracing over the reference. I'm doing the torso, the neck, the whole body. I'm just trying to make sure I have everything down, and then I can start erasing things, I can start adding things. And I'm going back and forth. I'm pretty much, very relaxed at this point. The proportions don't have to be exact. And again, we're trying to make this a cartoony looking, character. We're trying to make it not hyper real. So just to note, the torso and the tail are about the same size in terms of length. Feet are kind of weird, they look like chicken feet. And if you look at the reference, they kind of spread. But again, we can make this T-Rex wear shoes if you wanted to, really. I mean, it's all up to us, right? Just erasing unnecessary lines, trying to clean it up a little bit, so a lot of these shapes are more defined now. For the head, I'm exaggerating the eyeball. So for now, I'm happy with the body of the T-Rex, the way it came out. But I think he needs a friend. So the reference I have for the butterfly, I'm gonna actually do the same approach, start blocking the body out, just like we did for the T-Rex. So we have these cylinders and a big sphere for the head, and we'll add wings. And again, this is the same approach for any subject, any animal, any biped, any quadruped, anything really. I'm gonna add the butterfly actually, so the butterfly lands on top of the T-Rex's nose, and they're kind of looking at each other. So yeah, again, same approach with blocking. I thought about adding teeth, but not sharp, maybe kind of dull and squarish looking, so the T-Rex is not looking as intimidating or as scary. I'm exaggerating with the butterfly's wings and the head and the eyes, and you guys can do the same. And really at this point, I'm just redefining some areas. I'm making the butterfly smaller. I feel it's too big. It shouldn't look like that. It shouldn't be that big. It shouldn't be that size. So right now I'm moving it around. And the eyeball should be looking at the butterfly. And I'm just again defining those areas. I will be erasing soon a lot of things, trying to get those lines more visible. I'm adding grass now, and really I'm just kind of adding scribbles. There's not much to it. I wouldn't spend too much time on grass, because really I feel like I'm overdoing it. Because it's taking away from our T-Rex and the butterfly. Those lines are, I don't know, for some reason my eye is drawing to grass, and that's not a good thing. I don't want that to happen. I want my eyes to actually draw towards butterfly and the T-Rex's head. I've also tried adding like a sun and the sky and the clouds. I feel like, again, it's taking away from our main character, which is T-Rex, and the secondary character, which is our butterfly. So I might actually erase the background and just with color add maybe clouds and the sky. So really I'm just erasing, going back and forth, redefining these lines. You could even use a tracing paper and trace over this image, and then that way you have the clean lines instead of erasing over the ones you already drew. And really that's the approach I use if I am traditionally drawing or painting. But even in this case, I would add another layer on top of this layer, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that later on. And really, but this is the reason why I'm doing it like this, is to show you guys, if you are doing it traditionally, if you're using paper and pencil, well, this is the approach to do it. So again, I'm just going back and forth, redefining those areas. tried to work on the clouds, but it didn't really work. Again, it was taking away from the character. So instead, I think I'm gonna just leave it blank. Here I'm adding more features to the grass, adding edges, adding more details, but not too much though. And again, I think I might tone this down as well, just because we'll see how it looks like once it's colored. So here I have added a new layer, and I'm using a type of a paintbrush, and you see how those lines are more cleaner and they're more clear. So again, this is another approach. This is the approach to use when you're digitally painting and drawing. And I think that's it. Thank you. Our T-Rex is done. Next session, we will color the T-Rex and the butterfly and the environment as well.